Good morning. The Louisiana Committee on Parole is headquartered in Baton Rouge today, which is December 10th, 2025. On the panel today, to my left is Chuck Tillis, to my right is Danny Barra. I'm Jerry Ledoux. With the staff here at headquarters, announce yourself.
Jasmine Thompson.
CHEVALIER.
And our remote facility is CALCASIEU Correctional Center. Is there any staff in the room?
Yes, ma'am.
Would you identify yourself?
Deputy Robertson.
Okay. So the first offender we're going to be hearing this morning for revocation, Christopher AMRINE. Would you please introduce yourself with your DSC number, please?
My name is Christopher AMRINE, DSC number 619279.
AMRINE. Okay. Mr. AMRINE, do you have a form in front of you that you signed? It's a parole questionnaire in front of you. Okay, your signature on that form indicates that you're not eligible for appointed counsel. Have you hired an attorney?
No, ma'am, I didn't have a way to afford one.
Okay. So what's going to happen is I'm going to be reading some parole revocation violations against you, and I need you to enter a plea of guilty, guilty with a statement, or not guilty. Okay.
All
Okay, it is alleged that you failed to submit monthly supervision reports for the months of May, June, and July of 2025. You were directed to report to the Lake Charles District Probation and Parole Office for an appointment which was scheduled 7/28/25, but you failed to report, and your whereabouts were unknown, and a warrant was signed on 7/31/2025. How do you plead to that?
Not guilty.
Not guilty. Allegation number 4, you engaged in criminal conduct which resulted in your being charged by the CALCASIEU Parish Sheriff's Office with attempted simple burglary, and that charge is currently pending. Pre-trial conference is 2/18/2026. How do you plead?
Not guilty.
Number 10, as of 9/5/2025, when you were detained, you have a supervision fee arrearage of $945. You never made a payment. How do you plead?
Not guilty. I did make a payment.
Okay, do you dispute that it's $945?
Oh, that it should be around there. I just got a job, so I knew it was in the rear, but I didn't know how much it was.
Okay, so you're guilty for it being in arrears.
Yes, ma'am. I mean, I had no control of that. I wasn't working. I went back to the treatment place where I was at, where they was housing me, and they was also giving me a job. So that part of it, I wasn't aware of it being that much.
Okay, so we'll put guilty there. Mr. Barra would like to ask you some questions at this time. And we do also have someone in support, and I'll allow Mr. Barra to call on them at the appropriate time.
All right. Mr. AMRINE, I'm looking at the preliminary hearing where you and the officer had a little hearing in the jail. And at that hearing, for number 2, you said Mr. AMRINE admitted to not reporting for the designated months and stated his reason for not reporting was that he did not have transportation. Officer Anderson provided case narratives that included indicated AMRINE failed to report on the occasions listed, and he provided a copy of the parole warrant that was issued. So you admitted it then, and you're saying you're not guilty now. What's the difference? What's changed?
Okay, all right. So on April 30th, I got a parole pass to work in South Dakota for 6 months. I was supposed to return in November. Well, he told me just to send a message in. Well, on May 2nd, he came to my house in Sulphur and come to see me on May 2nd at my house. They told me that he was my new parole officer, wasn't Officer Myers no more. After that, it was May, June, and July. So June and July, I probably didn't check in exactly because I was working for a fair right there in Raceland, Louisiana. And then I had to call my ex-wife or whatever to come over there pick me up because I lost my job in August or maybe into July. And when she come and picked me up, I didn't have a ride. She went back to work. And whenever she went back to work, I was homeless and everything. So I went to my friend Julia Collins out there in Maryville, and I didn't have a phone or anything completely. So then whenever her water electricity got shut off, I called Bishop Ricky Sinclair out there in Baton Rouge, and he came and picked me up in Maryville and brought me back over there. And I was in treatment from August and until September that he brought me into the parole office in Clinton because Officer Anderson told me to be there on the 29th, and as I went to go do my paperwork, they didn't have my paperwork ready, and then they told me to come back on September 3rd to the Clinton office. So I reported before lunchtime, and then whenever I went there, as soon as I walked in, they said I was arrested for attempted simple burglary in Clinton. They brought me to the St. Francis Parish Sheriff's Office. September 3rd, I was picked up on Monday, September 8th by two CSP officers, and they brought me to over here saying for a warrant. So as far as it goes, the stuff with CALCASIEU, they have a whole different DOC number on this paper and everything. So I don't know what's going on about the charge part. But as far as me not scounding or anything, he come and see me May 2nd at my house before I left to go work at the fair. But April 30th, I had a 6-month pass to work in South Dakota as well. So I never escaped. I don't understand why Mr. Anderson stated that whenever Mr. Myers was my officer. So I don't know what was going on with that.
Well, he's saying that you did not report, not that he didn't see you.
No,
He's saying you didn't report and didn't turn
I
in.
didn't have a phone. By the time August hit, I did get a phone and call, and I he told me, send a letter of acceptance. If you can send a letter of acceptance saying where you're at, I'm okay with it. Just stay there. How long is the program? I said, it's a year long. He said, okay, well, as long as you have that paperwork and get sent to me, we're good. So then by the time I went to go check in that office over there to swap my parole from over here to over there, as soon as I walked in, they said, hey, you got a warrant CALCASIEU, you're going to jail. That was it. But May for sure is a lie because he was there at my house on May 2nd. I know that for sure, and she can vouch on that.
But you didn't report to him. He reported to you, but you didn't report to him.
April 30th, I went to the office and got the parole pass. But
30th, he's talking about May, June, and July.
Correct. Well,
Y'all talking about two different time periods. You talking about prior to what he's saying.
April 30th, I had a 6-month pass to work. I wasn't supposed to go back in the office. So May, he got switched to my new parole officer, and then that's when he just showed up the day I was leaving.
All right.
Whether you have a work pass or not, if you're in the state, you should be reporting.
Yes, ma'am, I did report. That's what I was still Officer Myers is the one that told me. He texted me and said on my phone, he said, you don't need to come into the office. Anything you need to do, just give us your name, your address, and where you're working, and that's all we need. We don't need to see you unless your name comes across our desk, his exact word.
All right, I understand. We can go on to number 4. You engage in criminal conduct which resulted in your being charged by the CALCASIEU Parish Sheriff's Office with simple burglary. This charge is pending under CALCASIEU District Attorney File 019-134-4945. It says back at the preliminary hearing, you admitted to the pending charge, but advised that you were told by your attorney that the charge would be dropped to criminal trespassing next week, a misdemeanor. So then you said you admitted to it, but now you're saying you're not guilty. You changed
I'm
it.
not guilty of attempted simple burglary, no, sir. I'm not guilty of trespassing for sure. I was just wrong place at the wrong time.
But you still haven't pled guilty to none of that. It's set for trial on February 18th, right?
Hey, they pushed it till February 18th, yes, sir.
And you believe that they're gonna drop that charge to criminal trespassing?
Yes, sir.
You plan on pleading guilty to it?
Yes, sir, I do.
That's a violation of your parole. You do real.
And well, I mean, I was guilty of that for sure.
Okay. All right, that settles that one. And number 10, pay a supervision fee at the amount set by the Department of Corrections, and as of September of 2025, you had arrearages totaling $945, and they say having never made a payment.
Whenever I was in the Anchor House, when I paroled out May 1st of 24, I made 3 payments when I first got there, and after that, I didn't have a job no more. I lost my job, my vehicle, everything. So I know I did make 3 payments after May of 24. I want to say it was May, June, or May. Somewhere I know I made 3 payments because I had the receipts for it, but I don't have them present right now. Because
right.
I did one over the phone, one over the internet, and I gave my other payment in the office, whatever. I had to go check in with the director when I was in the Anchor House.
All right. We have Dallas AMRINE, your ex-wife, who would like to speak, and we'll go to her at this time.
Can y'all hear me?
Yep,
Okay, I'm not really sure. Do y'all have questions for me or do I just talk?
just talk.
Okay, so everything that he is saying is very accurate. Tristan Myers came to my house actually to see him a few times, and Tristan, I've been on probation with Tristan Myers before. I've been off for quite some time now, but he tells his people not to come into the office, that he will call if they need to if they are needed to be seen. So if he did not, I know that he came here to see him, so he reported to Chris didn't report to him, but he tells the people that are on probation or parole with him that he will contact them if he needs to see them or talk to them, or if they need to come into the office. I want to also point out that as far as the new charges go, all he did was walk down the road with one of these little buddies, and that he had just met, might I add, and where they walked to, Chris did not know where they were going, but they walked down there, and it was a house that had been getting broken into and robbed by several people in this town. He did not engage in any criminal activity except for stepping foot on property that he shouldn't have, and he did not know. He was unaware completely of what was going on when it was going on. And as soon as he did, I have messages from people like admitting that Chris is in no fault for any of that. Also, I had where he was saying, because he checked himself back into that all the way house with Ricky Sinclair, and they mailed me 5 phones, and the one phone that has all these, and I know this is crazy, but the one phone that has all these messages that he is saying that he has, they're on there, but that one phone got lost in the mail. So, and I know that is just the worst coincidence in the world that could happen, but I will testify under oath that it got lost in transit to me. Chris he has a bad rap, and I get that. But this time around, he really was not doing anything bad. Like, he was spending a lot more time with his child. He was home a lot, and he went off to work for the fair, but whenever he lost his job, he spent most of his time with his kid. And as this kid's mother, that shows so much growth in him. Like, he really was trying to be the best that he could be. He was, and I am very optimistic and positive that this will be dropped down to a misdemeanor, because I have the not receipts, but I have the messages and stuff from these people stating that they know and that Chris didn't do anything. He did not steal nothing or have intentions to steal nothing. So I got to get with his lawyer, but it's definitely going to be dropped down to a misdemeanor, if not dropped all the way, because wrong place, wrong time, like he said. I just have to get with his lawyer. I am asking for y'all to give him leniency, because he really was doing good, and his child misses him a lot.
All right. Thank you for your input.
You're welcome.
Chris, I got a question for you.
Yes, sir.
You know, you saying that you're innocent of the charge, and that, but the police have a Ring video doorbell footage showing you and your partner walking up on the porch and you bending over particularly and pulling on the window that had been broken in to several times before. And I was just wondering, what were y'all doing at that house? What were you there for?
I was told by him that he was going over there to go get some money that a guy owed him. By the time I walked up to the door and walked up to the window, I see nobody was there. And I was like, bro, I said, I don't know what you're doing here, but they say nobody lives here. So he turned around, walked to the door, and there was a Ring doorbell there. I took a lighter out of my pocket and I lighted. I said, bro, that's a camera. Nobody's staying here. He's like, what? And I light the lighter. Yeah, I said, that's a camera, bro. Nobody's living here. And would turn around and walk straight back down the driveway, and that's it.
So you're saying you went there to collect some money that
He
with
said
God?
the guy owed him some money. I wasn't aware of anything. He's like, hey, I just want to stop by over here and go get some money this guy owed me. So by the time walking there and seeing that nobody lived there, I was like, man, no, we gotta leave. Come on. And I turned around and left.
All right. I don't have any more questions.
I would like the record to reflect that Tristan Myers was not your supervising agent at the time that you were non-compliant and had violated absconding. Your supervising agent was Trey Anderson. Mr. Tillis, do you have any
I don't have any
questions?
questions.
Is the panel
I
prepared
do
to
have
vote?
one question also on the preliminary hearing paper that they had, they was telling me, do I want a preliminary hearing or do I want to defer it? Well, I told him I wanted to defer it, reflecting on the fact of, my charge is supposed to be misdemeanor and everything. Well, he said, okay, well, on top of that page, it says 9/5/25, and I wasn't even arrested over here until 9/8/25. So I don't understand why that page for the preliminary hearing says 9/5/25 on it when I wasn't even in this jail yet. I never even met him, never did anything yet with him or anything. So I don't understand why that page would have 9/5/25 whenever I was over here on 9/8/25.
Okay, there are times that simple clerical errors can be made. Okay, that is,
And that's what I'm trying to stress is the error that was made also by the sheriff's office over here was I wasn't burglarizing anyone, man.
okay, we're dealing with the allegations of parole violation.
Yes,
Mr. Bob, this is your case.
I'm gonna vote to revoke parole based on continued criminal behavior and failing to follow the instructions of the parole officer.
Mr. Tillis,
My vote is to do not revoke.
my vote is to revoke based on non-compliance with your parole officer. So today, sir, by a vote of 2-1, your parole has been revoked. We wish you well.
It's not moving.
Is it Mr. Thomas? I'm sorry, you're on mute.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. You heard me introduce the panel in the last hearing. So Mr. Tillis to my left, Barrod to my right, and Ms. Ledoux. Would you state your name and your DOC number for the record?
Sean Thomas, DOC number 753190.
Okay. Mr. Thomas, do you have a parole revocation questionnaire in front of you?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you recognize your signature on that?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, that indicates that you're not eligible for appointed counsel. Have you hired an attorney?
No, ma'am.
Mr. Thomas, I'm going to read the allegations against you, and I need for you to enter a plea of guilty with a statement, or not guilty. Is that clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. You have been accused of violating condition number 2 of your parole, in that you did not report to the Office of Probation and Parole since 1/10 of 2024. How do you plead to that?
Not guilty, ma'am. With a
Okay.
statement.
With a statement. Well, not guilty. Number 3, you were not living at the last address you provided to probation and parole of 608 Elaine Street in Lake Charles. Attempts were made to see the subject at this location, and he tried to make contact with the subject via telephone. All attempts were unsuccessful, and your whereabouts were unknown until your arrest 9/29/2025. How do you plead?
I plead guilty, ma'am, with a statement.
With a statement. Okay. I'm going to allow Mr. Barrod to question you on those.
All right, Mr. Thomas, on violation number 2, at the preliminary hearing, you admitted to not reporting for the designated months, but followed up by stating that you did report in August, and now you're saying you're not guilty. I don't see how anything could have changed since then.
It's because, sir, I checked the dates when I was released from here. I was released in 12/7/23. So if I had to report, I haven't reported in 24, and my parole officer was Stephen Smith. He should have revoked me there on that first. I had a misconception. My times was messed up. I had a hard time remembering, but I knew I got released in 2023.
Well, going back to the preliminary hearing and the findings there, at that point, you did admit to not reporting for the designated months, which would have been since January 1st of 2024 until August of 2024, those 7 months, but followed up by report in August of 2024. The subject stated that when he reported in August of 2024, he was told that he had a new officer and never returned to report. When asked why you never returned to report, the subject stated that he was under the impression that his parole may have been terminated early. Why would you think your parole was terminated early?
Because when I went to see Stephen Smith, they told me it wasn't my parole officer anymore.
So that's why you thought your parole was...
I kept coming back, and they kept telling me the same thing, that he's not here, they don't need to see me. They didn't tell me who my new parole officer was till I got arrested at this time, so.
Mhm. So we see that you're a 5th felony offender. On 5 rounds, you don't realize that you have to report to the parole officer no matter what, whether they return your calls or not.
I still did, sir.
You still reported, but only the month of August.
It's one thing, if it's not on document, my parole officer told me all I had to do was call and check. I was homeless, living homeless, coming home from the penitentiary and going back and forth and trying to transition to work for myself, with no parole officer to help me get a job, with no parole officer to help me get any clothes, food, or anything. So I had to do what I had to do, but still reported every month or every Wednesday and Friday when he told me he would be in the office, and when I reported, he wasn't there.
And when you reported, what did you do? Did you leave a report? Did you fill out a report?
I left a new number every time I tried to. Every time I told him to get in touch with me at this number, this number, this number.
Did you write out any reports? Did you fill out any reports?
Sign in.
What number was to tell him what your new address was? Did you fill out anything like,
Yes, sir.
you left that every time you went?
Every time I went there, sir.
All right,
When Jill Walker, I don't even know who she is.
all right. On violation number 3, you pled guilty at the preliminary hearing and you pled guilty just now with a statement. So go ahead and tell us what your statement is.
My statement is if I was at that address, that means there had to been some place and some time that I've been reporting way after January 10th of 2024. If they had that document, whenever I gave them that documented address, that was after 12 or 23.
So it also says at the preliminary hearing that you admitted to moving from your last listed residence and not providing the Office of Probation and Parole with a correct address or phone number. And the subject stated that he was temporarily homeless without a phone. The subject stated that he was attempting to get his life in order before reporting back to probation and parole. Is that a true fact?
That's partially true, sir. I ain't have a number, but every time I got a new phone, I gave them a new number. I told them where I would have been at. I was at certain homeless shelters. I told them where they could find me there. He never pulled up on me. He never called none of those numbers, never texted none of the phones I gave him. But personally, me being homeless, I lose phones, things happen.
But you're saying you told him what the new number was and you told him what the new address was, but you
Every time I reported, sir,
just now said you never saw him.
I seen him once or twice.
So how are you telling him what your new number and your new address is if you never
I'm
saw him?
even in the front desk of the office, and they telling me to go ahead. That's
Okay.
what I'm doing, sir.
And Officer Walker provided case narratives that indicate attempted contact by the subject by phone and at his residence. And the narrative reflected that the subject was arrested due to the active parole warrant. I don't have any more questions. Does anybody here have questions?
I just noticed non-compliance with day reporting center, having problems getting there, going to appointments, positive drug screens. You've had several issues during this period of supervision. Mr. Tillis,
I'm ready to vote.
Mr. Byron.
All right, Mr. Thomas, based on the facts provided at the preliminary hearing by the officer and the testimony provided by you, I see that you violated condition number 2 and condition number 3, and have no choice but to recommend revocation of parole based on those violations.
Mr. Tillis.
I concur with Mr. Barrock on violations 2 and 3.
My vote is also to revoke parole based on non-compliance. So, Mr. Thomas, your parole has been revoked today. That concludes the business before the panel. It's 9:12, and we're going to be signing off at CALCASIEU.
I didn't know anything. That didn't make no sense with that.
Good morning. I don't see Arlene's yet.
Good morning.
Arlene's up here. Okay, would someone at the Justice Center turn on your camera and your mic? This is the Louisiana Committee on Parole. We're trying to connect with the Arlene's Justice Center for purposes of revocation. Are you connected? She was here. Hey, good morning. Louisiana Committee on Parole is handled at Person Baton Rouge for the purpose of a revocation hearing today. Arlene's Parish Justice Center. Today to my left is Mr. Tillis, to my right is Mr. Bahram. Sir, for the record, would you please state your name and your DOC number for us?
DERICK Martin, 764-768.
Okay. Mr. Martin, you're before this panel today with allegations of violating conditions of parole. I'm going to read those conditions to you, and I need for you to enter plea guilty with a statement, or not guilty. I do see that you've been appointed counsel, and we have Mr. Danny Engelberg.
Good morning. Good morning.
Mr. Engelberg, please interject and guide your client as you need. We will need for him to enter the plea, though. Okay.
Yes, Your Honor. We're not disputing the findings of the preliminary hearing. We have 3 witnesses today, an explanation, and a plan for success upon reentry.
Okay, great. We'll go ahead and read these allegations then. Violation number 2, you failed to report as directed on 1/8/2025. How do you plead?
Guilty.
Number 3, I will live address on the specific. If I must move from this address, I will get permission from my parole officer before doing so. Not leave the state of Louisiana without written permission from the parole officer. An attempt to visit your address of record on 1/8/2025 and 2/21/25 were unsuccessful. How do you plead?
Guilty, I guess. Not guilty. I'm not understanding what you said. I didn't hear what you said. I'm sorry.
Okay, we're having a difficult time understanding because of the noise. Is there a lot of noise in the background there?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, did you enter a plea of guilty, not guilty, or guilty with a statement?
Guilty with a statement.
Dispense with violation number 4, because we did not see any arrest for a new criminal activity. Number 6, you failed to provide employment verification. Guilty, not guilty?
Not guilty. I don't understand what you mean about a permanent verification. I'm trying to understand what you mean about that.
Thank you for asking for clarification. Were you employed, and did you provide your officer with evidence that you had a job?
No, ma'am.
You did not?
No, ma'am.
Okay. And number 9, you agreed to have your residence and place of employment visited at any time, and you agreed to have searches. The attempt to visit the record of address of record was unsuccessful. When they went to visit your home, they couldn't find you. Do you plead guilty guilty statement or not guilty?
I'm gonna plead guilty with a
Okay.
statement.
Okay. Before Mr. Douglas begins the questioning, I would like to allow Denise Martin, the offender's sister, to state.
Good morning.
You can just make your statement to us, Ms. Martin.
I'm going to speak on his behalf by saying the person he was staying with at the time also had issues, so he really wasn't able to stay there. So he was actually homeless at the time, is why they couldn't find him there at the residence that was provided. So what I am offering is a place for him to stay, or he could stay with my other sister. I'm offering to help to get him back and forth to see his parole officer. I'm going to help him get, further his education. And he also has a job waiting on him. So I'm going to be of assistance to him to make sure that he stays on the right path. Because what I'm realizing now, that he needs extra help, and I could be that extra help to him. So if you guys would allow me to assist him in moving forward, I will gladly do so.
So you have a job waiting for him?
He has a job waiting at Walmart at my mom's job. So that's some help, and I'm gonna help him get a state ID so that he could get that job. And I'm gonna help him further his education by enrolling in an adult education program, which he do need. My sister is gonna allow him to stay at her house, or he can stay with me, that's fine. I'll drive him to and from probation and parole when he needs to meet. To and from work, I will be the assistance for him. So he's gonna have support and extra help this time, which he didn't have before. I'm realizing now that he needs the support, he needs the help. He didn't ask for it before, but I can see that he needed it, is why I'm providing it now.
Okay, thank you.
Who would like to speak next? There are three from the public defender's office, and we may need to hear from all three. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, thank you, honorable members of this board. My name is Danny Engelberg. I was the chief defender at Orleans Public Defenders. I was appointed by Chief Judge Clemmings-Davalier to represent Mr. Martin. And that appointment happened after his initial counsel was unable to continue. So because of that transition of counsel, Mr. Martin has been in custody for 7 months or over 7 months. And why that's important is I think that it not only has been a wake-up call, but perhaps more importantly, and been a lot the punishment for not being in compliance when he was released. But more importantly, it's given us an opportunity to coordinate with his family that didn't happen when he was released previously, and to have the support from the resources of reentry from our office, and particularly with Mr. Terry Pierce, who is someone who has dedicated his life to both support people who are going through the system and help them succeed in reentry. And Mr. Pierce will be there along with his family. And that I think the big question is, why will this time be different than the last time? And I think we have a really good plan for why it'll be different, and a lot of dedication from both Denise, her sister, and Mr. Pierce to make sure that it'll be different this time. With that, I just have a brief statement from Mr. Farrelly, and then we'll hand it to Mr. Pierce about how we plan on coordinating to support Mr. Martin upon his reentry and help him succeed.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Andrew Farrelly. I'm a paralegal at OPD. I've been working on this case since we were appointed, and in this time, I've gotten to know Mr. Martin from speaking with both him and his family. And something that's become extremely clear is that while he is someone who has made mistakes, he's also extremely committed to turning his life around. And I believe this commitment is both genuine and realistic. I think it's genuine because I've sat in the room where Mr. Pierce was talking to Mr. Martin as Mr. Pierce counseled him, where they were sharing experiences and they were talking about what maturity means and what making healthy choices looks like. And if you saw the expression on Mr. Martin's face, I think you would also know that he was locked in, he was inspired and like absolutely motivated to make different choices in his life. I think these changes are realistic as well, because Mr. Martin, as everyone has said, is not alone. OPD will continue to assist, and Mr. Pierce will cover the details of that in a moment. But I've also spoken with Mr. Martin's mother, his cousin, and two of his sisters, and I've received the same message independently from all of them. First is that Derrick is ready to change, and the second is that they're all there to help. Now, Denise explained what she and her family plan to do, and at the risk of being sort of repetitive, I think the issues from last time he was on parole were all based in either housing or employment or the logistics of parole. And you just heard Denise say that with respect to housing, both Daphne and Denise have offered their homes. Derrick is planning to stay with Daphne and their mother at this point. I have a specific address in the parole packet I had previously sent, if that's of interest. With respect to employment, in that same parole packet, Derrick's mother committed to helping him in the job hunt, and that's actually a promise she's already made good on. As you heard, Derrick has a job waiting for him at Walmart where she works. And with respect to the logistics of parole, again, as you heard, Denise has committed to driving him to check-ins if needed. As I understand it, she has a fairly flexible work schedule, which helps. But also with smaller things like, as you said, getting a state ID. So I'll let Mr. Pierce get into the details of how OPD can supplement the support from the family. But before that, I just want to say that from my interactions with Mr. Martin and his family, it's been clear that he has spent the last 7 months thinking about how his life has looked, but also how it could look. And from that's where I see the commitment to change. This is commitment that's not unsupported, and it's not unsupported because it's a commitment with a plan, it's a commitment with resources, and it's a commitment with backups. And for those reasons, I am asking you please not to revoke. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Andrew.
Good morning. My name is Terry Pierce. I work in the Client Service Division at the Orleans Public Defender's Office. And we have a plan for Mr. Martin where we can support him with enrolling him in a new beginning behavior and family services department, which is housed right here in this building where we are. And they help individuals with family counseling. And we also have Mission Rebirth, where we can help him seek job placement, housing, and other basic, necessities. And I myself will personally stay in touch with Mr. Martin and help him with a reentry plan. A lot of guys be released from prison after being locked away for a while and be kind of confused. And our family helps, as family members, we try to help, but we don't really have the right resources and the idea of how to communicate with guys coming from out of prison. We also have Job One, where we can seek an employment for him and to help him, communicate with getting himself in order with understanding what life is about. And this is our plan. And I will stay hands-on with his family members and support Mr. Martin and help him to maneuver out here in society. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Pierce. Mr. Tillis.
I don't have any questions.
Okay, I do have one question, Mr. Martin. they're talking about these plans that they have for you. How do you feel? You're on mute, I think. How do you feel about these plans?
You're on mute.
You're still on mute,
Mute.
microphone. I believe the computer's on mute.
All right, I feel like with a chance, I can do better if I'm given a second chance. I promise you. You give me a second chance and don't revoke me, you're gonna see progress. I promise you. That's my promise.
What was the biggest problem when you got back on the streets? What was the biggest problem? Housing?
Housing, that was my only problem, housing, and not having an ID. I had buku opportunities pass me up because I couldn't afford an ID.
That's a critical key. Yeah.
So that was my only problem. But if I could get back to the streets, I'll show y'all better. I can do better. I promise you.
Are you going to allow these people to help you?
Yeah, I'm gonna allow them to help me. Yes, ma'am.
Excuse me, I want to also state that Mission Rebirth will help him obtain an ID card and birth certificate and with other documentation that's necessary.
That's critical. Thank you. You're prepared to vote?
Let's go. Okay, all right, we can vote. My vote is going to be to, if you are going to comply with the help you have, do not revoke.
Mr. Barrow.
I'm going to concur, do not revoke, but I'm going to add special condition that you enroll in and complete the New Beginnings programs with Mr. Pierce, and the key word in that sentence is completed. That number 2, that you observe a curfew from 10 p.m. to 6 a.m. while you're unemployed. But if you get yourself a full-time job, then you can be offered a curfew. But until you have a full-time job, or if you get laid off or fired, you're going to be back at curfew. You understand that?
Yes, sir.
You know what I'm saying when I say that? So as long as you're employed and you're going to work, you have no curfew. But the minute you're unemployed, it's back in effect until you're employed again.
Okay.
To keep you at work. And that you report to your probation and parole office at least once monthly and fill out a written report. I don't want to hear, well, I went, but the officer wasn't there, or I called and he didn't answer. You find out what his office days are, and you go in there at least one time per month, and you fill out a written report. If he's not there, you ask him to leave it for him. You understand?
Yes, sir.
Okay, that's going to keep you tightened up, so that I'm going to do not revoke with those 3 conditions.
Mr. Martin, I believe that with the team you have working on your behalf and your attitude, that you're set up for success. My vote is also to not revoke you, to return you to supervision. And I expect you to do extremely well. And I expect the family to follow through on their commitment to be with you every step of the way. Thank you, team, Arlene's Public Defender's Office, for your work. And does this conclude our business? This concludes our business at Arlene's Justice Center. Thank you very much.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good morning. The Louisiana Committee on Parole is impaneled in Baton Rouge at headquarters. On the panel today, to my left is Mr. Tillis, to my right is Mr. Barra, I'm Ms. Ledoux. And we are at Allen Correctional Center with the staff there. Please introduce yourself.
Yeah, how you doing this morning? I'm Assistant Warden Jesse Beverly.
Okay, thank you, Warden. And
Jessica Manual, Classifications.
great, thank you so much for being with us. Mr. Marcel, would you introduce yourself with your DOC number for the record?
My name is Travis Marcel, DOC number 609227.
Okay, Mr. Marcel, you're before this panel today as a first felony offender serving a 15-year sentence for aggravated incest, 2 counts. You have a parole eligibility date of 11/18/2024. You're not eligible for good time and a full term date of 2/19/2027. Before we get started and Mr. Barra begins to ask you questions, Warden, do you have any information that you would like to provide about this offender?
None at that time. We're gonna let the file speak for itself.
Thank you very much, Warden. Mr. Marcel, we'd like to give you an opportunity to tell this panel why you're currently incarcerated and why you think that we should provide an early release at this time.
Well, at this time, I'd like to say good morning and thank y'all for this opportunity. Basically, I put myself in a position I shouldn't have put myself in. I went total opposite way. Now that I've been incarcerated for close to 14 years now, I realize I shouldn't have put myself in that position, and I've used this time to reevaluate myself to be the person I need to be, and I used my time wisely. I didn't sit down and let the time do me. I did the time. I did all the programs that I could possibly do to better myself so that I could be a better person when I am eligible to return back to society, to be a prosperous citizen of the towns.
Hey, we do have 2 people here in support of you today, and we would ask if they would like to make their statement now, and that is your stepfather and your mother, James and Trudy Myers. So at this time, would you like to address the panel?
Are we going to, you want us to address it now, or can we wait until later?
I think it's the appropriate time to do it now.
Okay. Very difficult for us. I think any parent obviously would know that if they're in this situation. Nobody in our family or her family in past generations has ever been in prison or locked up. So this is very difficult. You don't even know what to say when you're here. That said, yeah, he's been in there for 14 years. I asked myself, is any more additional time going to benefit him versus him applying what he's learned and the time that he's been in and all the projects and assignments that you guys have given him to rehabilitate him, if you will. And personally, I just think, again, every parent does, it's not about missed birthdays and all the events and things of that nature, because I think everybody comes up here and says that. You play with fire, you get burned. That said, after almost 14 years, when do you sit there and allow him to have the opportunity to apply what he's learned? In other words, is another 5 years going to sit there and do any better? I don't know that they have any other lessons or tools that he could possibly do or use and things of that nature. So that's our take on it right now. Again, because of the strong family, all of us, he has a lot of people watching him. So he does have a lot of support to put his best foot forward and do the best that he can as he goes, depending on what decision that you guys make today.
Thank you very much. That was well said. Mr. Barra? Do you want me to call on the victims? And we also do have 3 people joining us today via Zoom who are in opposition of parole. We would ask if Nicole Marcel would like to speak first.
I don't really know what to say. I mean, he wants out early, but I'm pretty much living a life sentence. I've raised my children by myself. I have to be there for my daughter, who is his victim. And I just don't know. I feel as if he needs to serve his full sentence. You were sentenced that way because of what you did. Nobody got off easy on our end.
Okay. Thank you very much for your words. We also have Wilma Roberts, the victim's grandmother, who would like to speak. Don't know if you're there, if you're on mute.
Sorry. He needs to stay where he's at because he hurt my grandchildren very, very much. And to this day, he still scares them. So as far as I'm concerned, he needs to stay there. And when he does get out, he needs to stay right there in Louisiana because I know he's wanting to come to Texas and he needs to stay where he's at. Thank you.
And we will now give Jordan Osborne the opportunity to speak.
Hello. Had I known this time would have come so fast, I would have asked for more. My entire life, I've worked so hard to be able to get through the damage that he's left, and I still can't. I'm paranoid day to day. I am scared to walk in and out of my house, much less work, and he's still incarcerated. If I have to live with this fear and this uneasiness the rest of my life, the least that he can do is serve his sentence.
Thank you, Jordan. Would you have the letters provided? Mr. Monroe?
All right. I think we passed over Miss Trudy Myers. Did she want to speak? Have her as a yes to speak.
I'm his mother.
Yes, would you like to speak? We look like we passed over you at the time.
I can't do it right now.
Okay. All right, Mr. Marcel, do you have a drug problem, alcohol problem? What was going on at that time that made you do something like that?
I didn't have a drug or alcohol problem at that time, sir.
Mental? Yeah, mental problems, mental health? No. If we were to release you, where you plan on living?
My goal is to go to Texas. I have a residence there that's willing to accept me and have a job opportunity already there.
In what part of Texas?
That's Seguin, Texas.
And that's not the same area as the victims live in, right?
That part I don't know, sir, because I don't know exactly where in Texas they are living at the moment.
Okay.
Mr. Person, Danny?
Yeah, go ahead.
Mr. Marcel, I saw you took a lot of classes which one impact you the most?
When I went to Victim Impact, it really touched me because it made me realize a lot of things that I've done in my past. It brought to light and made me realize I shouldn't have done what I've done. And it gave me an opportunity to sit back and realize how I can do things a whole lot better and not to put myself in those positions again. When I took Ashland College, I got my degree in communications, and one of the communications was family communication. And just going over some of the areas in that book, having the right papers, reliving some of those things that happened while I've been incarcerated and while I was on the street, it brought back a lot of bad memories and pain. And it showed me how to cope with them and deal with them a whole lot better. And now I realize what I have to do to be a better person and to function better in society.
Let's see. You don't have any ambition of seeing victims or anything if you're released?
No, sir. The only thing I really want is to still be able to have contact with my two sons. That's if they're willing to still have contact with me. I want to go on with my life and make it the best I possibly can.
I see. And
I don't have any more questions, but I would ask for executive session after Ms. ask her question.
I'll need a second.
second,
Susan?
yes.
Odin? Yes. Barra?
Yes.
We're going to go into executive session to discuss confidential matters. Okay, we're back in regular session. Mr. Marcel, do you have one last comment before the panel votes?
The only thing is, I'd like to thank y'all for this opportunity.
Okay, so Mr. Barra, you'll be voting first.
Mr. Marcel, I can't do anything except vote to deny your request due to the age of the victims involved in the crime and the strong victim and law enforcement opposition.
Mr. Tillis.
Mr. Marcel, I see remorsefulness in you, and I appreciate that you tried to better yourself. And I hope you continue on that path. My vote today is going to be grant.
My vote is to deny based on victim opposition. I will say, Mr. Marcel, you have applied yourself significantly during the time you've been incarcerated. And I'm very thankful that you have taken advantage of all the classes that you have and hope that you have learned something through this. But today, by a vote of 2-1, you have been denied parole. And that concludes our business there at Allen Correctional Warden and staff. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Good morning. The Louisiana Committee on Parole is impaneled at headquarters in Baton Rouge. Today on my left is Mr. Tillis, to my right is Mr. Barra and Ms. Ledoux. And our remote site is River Bend Correctional. Would the staff there introduce yourself?
My name is Lieutenant Johnny.
Lieutenant, would you ask the offender to sit back a little bit? We have trouble seeing his complete face. Okay. Sir, would you please state your name and your DOC number for the record?
DWIGHT ODEN, 489864.
Okay. Mr. Oden, you may recognize Mr. Tillis and I.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm going to go ahead and we've done this before. I'm going to read the information into the file. You are a third-class offender currently serving a 20-year sentence for habitual attempted possession of cocaine. You had a parole eligibility date 11/15/2017. You have a good time date of February 19th, 2032, and a full term date of 11/15/32. So we saw you November the 24, and since that time, it looks like you've taken reducing angry feelings and a financial class. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Is there any other changes to the situation since our last hearing?
I was transferred to a different facility.
Okay.
And I took multiple classes, but the last time we appeared, she said she didn't see him on there. And the class lady was there with me to explain it to her. I mean, you may remember that on 24 last year.
Seen a lot of people since there. I'm sorry, no. I have in your file that you have taken pre-release. Get that section. But at criminal history, so I'm trying to.
16 and 17 got traffic at the east end and route to phase 3.
Okay, so I have you've taken anger management, understanding and reducing angry feelings, living in balance, which you did not complete. You took and passed Louisiana Risk Management Model 1 and 2, victim accountability, and then pre-release. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am. I also finished the living in balance. I got the certificate to prove it. I don't know why I didn't say I didn't finish it on there.
Okay. Okay, but when was that?
When I was at Dixie Correction Institution.
It's like in 2015?
Yes, ma'am, like 2015, 2016.
Okay. Okay. Mr. Oden, why don't you, for the benefit of Mr. Barra, tell us, were you on supervision during the time that you had this new charge?
No, ma'am.
You weren't revoked from one of your supervisions for the current charge you're on?
Oh, I was they sentenced me and then let me out and then revoked me.
Okay, so you were on supervision.
Yes, ma'am.
You were on supervision. Okay. I want to acknowledge that you do have John Oden, your brother, and he would like to make a statement on your behalf. Mr. Oden, this would be an appropriate time.
Ma'am.
Mr. Oden, Mr. John Oden, you can speak at this time to the panel.
Good morning. How you all doing?
Good, thank you.
Right, so I don't have much to say. I once, I have been incarcerated myself before. I served a total of 11 years. I came home in 2014. since then I came home. I haven't had any prior incidents with law enforcement, and not at all, not one. And I'm working. I'm currently a supervisor on my job, and I constantly talk to my brother on the phone, and I try to lead by example. I'm his older brother, and I lead by example. And I tell him, I think and I talk to him all the time, and I actually think that I would say that he's ready for society. I'm having long, deep talks with him, with me here to assist him after what I've been through myself also. And just to show him you can come home and be positive. And, I coach a little league football team. I'm just involved in the community. So I did come home from my incarceration and did do a totally 360 with my life. So, and I don't know if it would make it. I'm hoping it'll make a difference with you all, that I'm here to help him. The readjust if he was to be favorable in the parole board. I'm here to help him in his readjustment back into society. And and I would think from our long conversation, I would say his mental has greatly changed a lot. I see growth in his mental development over the last. He's been incarcerated, I think, maybe 10 years now or so. So, I know he may used to be a knucklehead, but I see growth. I see a lot of growth in him now. Me and my moms, he have a strong support system here. And I always tell him, he come home, I would hire him myself. He come, as soon as he get out, he will have a job, stuff like that. I work for David Zimmerman. I work in the nuclear facilities myself. Work for energy at the nuclear facilities. So I would just hope, that he would be granted a favorable decision. I mean, that would be my hope for him. I would say I've seen a change in his mental development over the years and his thought process and things like that. I'm always talking to him and, just trying to help guide him the right way. So.
Your success is certainly something to be commended. And it does make a difference to have family support. And I appreciate your comments today.
Thank you.
Dwight, I want to ask you, have you taken GED?
Yes, ma'am. I took it, but my mind won't allow me to stay focused on the fact to pass the test. I took it multiple times. I was a special ed when I was in school. So I need a lot of assistance. So I took it as much as I can. So she gave me credit for steady trying. They don't have a literature class where they could have somebody to assist me. But I was grateful. I tried my best. I took my points. I tried it multiple times over and over, but I wasn't successful to pass the test.
Okay, so are there any classes for job skill training?
Not at the facility that I am, but I am a trustee. I've been a trustee for the last 4 years. So I am a trustee, hands-on. But I'm asking that if y'all grant me to then give me an opportunity, I'll be willing to take any class or any type of stipulations that you allow me to go back into society to be with my family.
Oh.
Right. You had a drug problem?
I would say, yes, sir. I had a drug problem.
How do you feel about it now?
I feel now that throughout the years of me learning and me taking different classes to develop, understand the way of life, and I'm grateful for the things that I did to committing the crimes. Now I'm a better man. I don't use drugs anymore. I can say I'm a better man than I used to be. And
what's your plan if released? Now, what's your plan?
My brother got a job for me waiting on me. I plan on going home and working and spending every day to be a better man. To show y'all, sir.
Are you gonna do some drug class while you're out if you are released?
Yes, sir. I take any type of drug class. I go to drug treatments. I go to a church and ask for help. I got a God brother that's a pastor. Anything that's willing to help me move forward to the future,
I'm willing to take it and accept it.
Okay, all right. Okay.
Mr. Oden, you know, I need you to have the GED or the trades training. So the risk management was your substance abuse treatment, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And you do have someone stable to go to, and John, I would expect you to be there for him if he were released today. I'm prepared to vote. Does the panel have any other questions or?
Nope.
Okay. Mr. Oden, because of that lack of having that trade or GED, my vote today is going to be to grant your parole conditioned upon a transitional work program. And that will give you something on your resume or something, recent work experience to be more attractive to an employer when you hit the streets. That's just mine. And that you have, you go to AANA at least once a week for the first year that you're on probation. You understand your failed probations in the past is one of the biggest things you have against you right now?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
I don't know if you understand clearly enough that you can't afford to come back.
Yes, ma'am. And I don't plan on coming back. I will do everything that Allah strengthened me to do better.
I hope you didn't say that last time. Mr. Tillis, here.
I'm gonna concur with Ms. Ledoux and hope that we don't see you again.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Bob.
I'm going to concur with Ms. Ledoux, and I'm also going to add the special condition that you complete outpatient substance abuse classes when you're on the outside.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so Mr. Oden, your parole by unanimous vote today has been granted with some stipulations, and it is conditioned upon completion of a transitional work program prior to release. That will be from 6 to 9 months.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. That concludes our business at Riverbend, and the time is now 10:34. Good morning. The Louisiana Committee on Parole is paneled at headquarters in Baton Rouge. And on the panel today on my left is Mr. Tillis, to my right is Mr. Barra, and Ms. Ledoux. Is there anyone, the remote side is Bossier Parish Maximum Security Facility. Is there anyone in the room on staff there?
He's on mute. He's trying to mute himself.
Thank you for unmuting.
No, ma'am. No one is.
Then would you please introduce yourself, sir, with your name and your DOC number?
My name is DARREN SHIVERS, and my DOC number is 127314.
Hey, Mr. Shivers. You're before this panel for rule violations of your parole. Do you have a questionnaire in front of you that you note your signature on?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, the answers to that questionnaire indicate that you are not eligible for appointed counsel. Did you hire an attorney for today?
No, ma'am.
Okay, then we're going to go ahead and proceed. What I'm going to do is read your allegations, and I'm going to ask you to enter a plea of guilty, guilty with a statement, or not guilty. Okay?
Yes, ma'am.
First of all, rule number 4, on October 13th, 2024, you were arrested by the Bossier City Police Department for committing the offense of forgery. You have had several hearings, but that has not been adjudicated, has it?
No, ma'am.
Okay. What is your plea on that?
Not guilty.
And number 10, you're currently $2,957 in arrears on your supervision fees.
Yes, ma'am.
You're guilty of that?
Yes, ma'am. I haven't been able to pay.
Okay. So why don't you visit with Mr. Tillis about the particulars of this situation?
Okay, I was at my home address in Shreveport, Louisiana, and I received a check in the mail with my name, which I have a copy of the check right now. And when I received the check in the mail, I took it to Chase Bank on Manfield Road, 9096 Manfield Road, and I deposited it into my bank account for check verification. And the man that I saw had laid here and told me that the check was on a 5-day hold. And I said, okay. So I left out the bank. So several months later, I was driving with a female in a car, and the police officers pulled us over, and they said I had a warrant in Bossier Parish for forgery. So what have occurred was that I received all the information, and the police officer in Bossier investigated a check that I received in the mail in Shreveport, and I deposited at Chase Bank. And they said that that I committed forgery. But this police officer have laid here and withheld the video footage in this case, and did not provide it to the district attorney, and did not provided this video footage to my attorney to prove that I did not deposit a check or forge no check in Bossier Parish. And I had received some photos that this police officer is supposed to have taken photos from this video footage, but he altered the video footage and did away with the timestamp. And no timestamp is nowhere on the video footage that he provided to the district attorney, which he was trying to make it like that I was in Bossier Parish committing a forgery. And that is what Judge Craig is trying to get this video footage that this police officer had withheld to prove that I'm nowhere in Bossier Parish committing a crime. And that's what I'm waiting to go to court for another hearing. The hearing is for today, another hearing today. And
where did you cash the check?
I never cashed the check. I deposited it in Shreveport at Chase Bank. The address is 9096 Manfield Road. I never cashed the check. I just deposited it for check verification.
And that's what I'm saying. You deposited it into your account.
Yes, sir.
And you said a couple of months later, that's when you got detained.
Yes, sir.
So did check clear?
No, sir, it didn't clear because I have the paperwork and it shows that the check never cleared. The check was from the bank, said that the check was supposed to be altered. I never did alter a check, so they said we altered the check, never did clear. It never did cash or anything, so they never give me no money or anything for the check.
Great, so you're waiting now for trial.
Well, yes, I'm waiting for a video footage to come in. And Judge Craig want to get this video footage to show that I wasn't in Chase Bank, nowhere in Bossier Parish. And he had told me that once this video footage come in, he was discharged me from custody because no crime have occurred in Bossier Parish.
Okay.
He's looking for a technicality.
Yeah, I know. Okay, I have no more questions.
So you have a public defender who is assisting you with this case?
Ma'am, to tell you the truth, my public defender did not file nothing for me. I did all my filing, all my research and everything. And I was trying to tell her in January January of last year, earlier this year, that I'm innocent because I'm nowhere in Bossier. I've been trying to tell her this, but she's been procrastinating and not trying to get this video footage just show that I'm not in Bossier Parish. So I've been doing all my filing on my own. And she haven't filed no type of motion at all for me. Nothing whatsoever.
The amount of the check was $5,032. Where was this coming from?
Oh, they said the check was coming from CD Service Group.
That was a check that was due to you, or?
No, ma'am. No, sir. What it was that I don't know who has sent the check to my address. And when I get it, I just looked at my name on the check and I took it and see was it a legit check or not. And I took it to the bank and deposited in the bank.
Okay.
So you never worked for that company or anything else? You didn't think it was yours? You were just bringing it to the bank to check it out, maybe?
Yes, sir. That's all I was doing. And I never worked for that company, but they got a lot of people that's inside my police report who have received this type of check, but they got fake IDs. And I'm the only one with a real ID and checking for check verification. And these other people, I do not know. I never met these other people who was forging these checks.
Well, how do you know they were doing it?
Well, according to the police report, that's what the police officer's saying because they mentioned quite a few different people in the police report. And this guy is like right here. He have my address. He have my I don't know who this is, but he have my information, which is on a fake state ID. But this is my real driver license here. I do not know this guy. And he had my fake ID, a fake ID with all my information on it.
Mr. Shivers, were you working while you were on parole?
What I was working, yes, I had got injured and was off work because I had got injured.
Why didn't you pay your fees?
I was paying my fees until I got injured. And then I was waiting for my taxes come in to pay everything, but the tax person that did my tax, they messed my tax up and I never could receive my tax.
Why do we have a victim of Marcy Peppers in this case?
That is the lady who reported the check. She's supposed to be working for CD Service Group.
So City Service Group is the actual victim.
That's right. She was working for them. She was the one that saw the check was high.
Mr. Chillis.
I have no questions.
Let me call for executive session.
Oh, second.
No, I don't want no bricks.
We have an executive session request. You second?
Second.
Parole,
Second.
Tillis,
Here.
Badoo, yes.
Damn, man.
We've returned from executive session. We needed to discuss some confidential information. So, sir, you have been detained since October 22nd, 2024.
Yes, ma'am.
Did you request to be heard by the board?
At first I had requested to be delayed until the disposition of the offense. Then the parole officer come out and said that it's been too long and that I have to lay here and have a parole hearing, a revocation hearing. So, and that's what I'm here for today.
Okay. And you wouldn't mind being incarcerated until the disposition of your charges?
I was trying to, if y'all do not mind, ma'am, I go to court today. If the video footage is in court, Judge Craig wanted to release me on bond last time when I went to court. But if the video footage is in, he gonna dismiss the charge against me, which he already had told me that. And if it's not in, I have to wait until a next court date. And I wanted to know, if the board don't mind, could they allow me
We can do that.
to make bond?
And we're not going to let you make bond, but we are going to continue your case until, we're going to continue the case until your charges have been absolved, okay?
Yes, ma'am. And the reason, can I say something, Shawn, mind? And the reason why is because I, was asking to be able to make bond is because my lawyer is not really fighting for me. I'm the only one filing a motion. I'm the only one is really challenging what the police officer did with this police report and everything. And
okay, well, let's not bring in that.
We're not gonna try
Okay,
to
yes,
not
ma'am.
to your favor.
Yes,
So,
ma'am.
Mr. Tillis, would you like to vote?
Yes, my vote is to do a continue.
Mr. Barra?
I concur, vote to continue to the outcome of those pending charges.
And my vote is also to continue your case until you've been to court. So today on a 3-0 vote, Mr. Shivers, you're going to remain in custody until such time as your charges have taken care of. Thank you.
Yes,
That concludes our business there at that facility, and it's 11:02.
Oh, what am I doing? Did something wrong?
Good morning. The Louisiana Committee on Parole is impaneled in headquarters in Baton Rouge. Today on the panel to my left is Mr. Tillis, to my right is Mr. Barra. I'm Ms. Ledoux. We're at the remote site of Grant Parish Detention Center. Is there any staff in the room there? You're on mute. Would staff introduce yourself, please? You're on mute. Should be a microphone. You're looking for the microphone. Click it.
I can't find it.
I'm going to turn that on. You're looking for something that says audio or microphone that you're going to engage. Should be on the left-hand side.
Or
All right. So would the staff introduce yourself, please?
Yes, ma'am. This is Sergeant Greer.
Sergeant Greer, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Mr. Chevalier, would you introduce yourself with your name and your DOC number?
Daniel Chevalier, 578966.
Okay, Mr. Chevalier, you're before this panel with allegations that you have violated the conditions of your parole. I'm going to ask if you have a parole revocation questionnaire in front of you that you signed.
Yes.
Okay, that's your signature. The answers to that questionnaire indicate you're not eligible for appointed counsel. Have you hired an attorney?
I hired one, but then he backed out, so I'm just going to represent myself.
Okay. I'm going to read the allegations against you and ask you to enter a plea of guilty, guilty with a statement, or not guilty. Okay, there are 4 parts to rule violation number 4. 4A indicates that you were engaged in criminal activity as evidenced by your arrest on 2/3/2025 by the Grant Parish Sheriff's Office for domestic abuse battery with child endangerment and possession of drug paraphernalia. And as a result of the plea, domestic abuse battery was dismissed and a pending sexual battery was dismissed due to lack of cooperation from the victim. How do you plead?
Not guilty.
Part B, you've also failed to refrain from the illegal use of drugs as evidenced by a positive drug test on 2/3/2025 for fentanyl and marijuana. How do you plead?
Guilty. Because that's just, I mean,
Guilty with a statement?
yeah, I didn't know about the fentanyl.
Okay, but you knew it was marijuana.
Yeah, I had a medical card.
And C is since being incarcerated on or about 4/30/2025, you acquired additional charges of stalking, violation of a protective order, and obstruction of justice. You pled guilty on 10/2/25 to violation of a protective order and received 6 months parish jail. You also pled guilty to the misdemeanor obstruction of justice and received 6 months to run consecutive, but suspended with 12 months misdemeanor probation upon release. How do you plead?
Not guilty.
Okay, are you pleading not guilty to the fact that you didn't do it, or that because you pled guilty to it in court? So
No, yeah, I made phone calls.
okay, so are you pleading guilty or not guilty?
Guilty with a statement.
Okay. And number 10, you failed to pay your processing fee of $65 and make payments toward your supervision fees, in which you're now $693 in arrears. How do you plead?
Guilty.
We have 2 people who wish to speak. One is in support, your mother, Liz Chevalier, and this would be the appropriate time for her to make a statement to the panel. Hey, you're on mute, Ms. Chevalier. You're looking for an audio button or a microphone button.
We'll look on the left side.
The left-hand side.
All right. I'm sorry. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So I'm the mom of Daniel Chevalier, and I just wanted to say a few words from my heart. And I know the choices that brought my son here were serious, and I don't excuse him whatsoever. But I've seen some real changes in him during his time in custody, growth, humility, and a sincere desire to build a better life. As his mother, that has given me hope after many years of worry, tears, and prayer. I believe it's more strength in him than he has ever realized. I believe he's capable of having a better life, leading a better life. If he's granted parole, I'll support him emotionally and encourage him every step of the way. But I want to be clear about one thing, is that out of love and honesty, I cannot financially provide him housing or an apartment if he is released. I do want him to go into a program. I've already talked to the fella. It's up in Virginia. If he can go out of state, I don't know. If not, he'll have to go to like a sober living, I think. And I've already talked to a few people in Louisiana about that. But he does need help when he gets out.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate your candid comments.
Okay, you're welcome, ma'am.
We do have Elizabeth Bird, who is a victim and wishes to speak. And at this time, Ms. Bird, the floor is yours. Okay.
Hi there. Yes, this is Elizabeth Bird. Well, me and my 5-year-old daughter are both victims of Mr. Chevalier's abuse. And my 5-year-old, who was 4 at the time, came forward with allegations that Mr. Chevalier did rape her. And I know you said on count A for sexual battery, you said something about like no cooperation from the victim. My daughter is in active trauma therapy, cognitive behavioral therapy. She's only 5. She's in kindergarten. She made allegations of sodomizing her, him putting his pinky in her rectum. I mean, I've gone through all the channels. She came forward and told one of the ladies that she and I both became close with at the Head Start that she was going to. And she would have been 4 at the time when she came forward and said, because we everything under the sun to potty train her, and she would not go number 2. And I didn't ask questions that used to volunteer at the Head Start. Asked my daughter, who's now 5, Lindsay, I guess just she said from experience of abuse as a child, and Lindsay came forward and told her that Mr. Chevalier had been doing inappropriate sexual things, like very explicit things. I've gone through SANE nurses, pediatrician, SANE nurse, straight into therapy. She's in therapy now. She's been going for several months. I want to say 3, almost 4 months. And she's come out with the information that she disclosed to her counselor, who then disclosed what Lindsay said to them. I mean, I don't understand how the sexual battery charge could be dropped at all, because she's in active therapy for Mr. Chevalier's abuse against her. I have a recording of her speaking of her own volition. I'm just simply listening, and I have her on recording saying that he did certain things to her. I mean, like she said things that he put his mouth down there. He put his hand in her, down there. He, she said he put his pinky in her rectum. He sodomized my baby. I don't believe I don't understand. I'm sorry. It's just the sexual battery charge. I have no idea where or why it's saying that the victim was were uncooperative or anything, because I've done every single thing that I've been told to do in order to take care of my daughter's uh, physical, mental, all of the, you know, yeah, I'm done everything that I've been told to do. We are working with the Children's Advocacy Network. I have been working with them, and Lindsay has disclosed information to them about him.
I think we have a
Sodomizing her, and I mean, yeah, that's where I'm at on that.
Let
So,
me, on that one, that, like you heard and we see the DA's office is saying there's no cooperation and it's dismissed. You probably need to follow up with them to get this straightened out. We can't try that case here, and we're not even using it as evidence here because it's not part of the violation. So what we need to know about is the protective order that was violated. Tell us about that. What led to that? What's all that about? That's stuff that we're looking at.
okay. Mrs. Chevalier not only called my phone at this time, we had our own. I live here in Colfax, a very small rural town. We had our own. It was run by Colfax Police Department, which is no longer. It's all taken over by the sheriff's office, but he called. The co-chief of police told me that he called my phone. It was 55 times he called me, and he also harassed or called my mother a multitude of times. It was like 42 times. And he was trying to get me to sign an affidavit relinquishing him of any wrongdoing or abuse. And he called over and over and over and over again, and threatened me. Like he's done it before. He's threatened to have someone come to my house and cause me bodily harm. He's threatened to set my house on fire. Yeah, just really disturbing things. And this is, I mean, he's done harm to not only me, but his own daughter. Yeah.
So is the victim in this, is that his biological daughter?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
That's good.
All right. Well, thank you very much. I think that we appreciate your testimony. Mr. Chevalier, I would like to ask you about your statement. You said on C, you were the fact that you had those charges and you pled guilty to the violation of the protective order and all that. You indicated you were guilty with a statement. What kind of statement would you like to make on that?
So I've been a full-time dad when my daughter hasn't been in school. I my we had to get a custody lawyer to get my name on the birth certificate because I wanted to be part of my daughter's life. So I was able to get the opportunity to be a full-time dad. And while Elizabeth just, I don't know, running the roads. So when she was when I was out of jail, she's always stayed with me. That's my baby. I mean, I would never. I don't know where these allegations come from, but when I got out of jail this last time, I was living with my daughter's mother, Elizabeth Bird, and I tried to move out, but she encouraged me to stay. So she would sleep all day, and I would take care of my daughter. What I was guilty of was for washing her clothes, giving my daughter a bath, just being a good dad. I never thought this is what being a good dad would lead to, or I would have kept my distance like I am now. I no longer, this has scared me to death at like how far from reality my daughter's mother really is. She's always dealt with mental illness, and my family knew that. So it was as a father, it was my thing to step up as a good father to give my daughter the life I had growing up, which was a normal family life. So like the domestic violence, I never I never touched her. And if I did, I would own up to it, as well as, I mean, my daughter's my baby. Like that you don't do. I would think she'd be happy that nothing happened, but I would lock myself in a room to get away from her as I was being attacked, and I didn't call the police because I didn't. It wasn't that serious. I was attacked. Yeah, I got a bruise, but once I went to jail, I didn't want us both being in jail. I knew I'd have my day in court. And I told him the officer I had a bruise, but I didn't want us to both be in jail. So I knew I'd have my day in court. I knew my daughter needed her mother. Um, but in the 6 years I've known her, I've never put my hands on her. I've never threatened her. During the 55 times that I did call, it was communication back and forth. It's not like I was calling and she would not answer. These guys came to jail telling me, and they had sex charges. It was our neighbor, and they were telling me they were around my daughter. So I was concerned for my daughter's well-being. And when these allegations came up of my daughter being molested, I cried, and my heart was broken because I thought it was true.
Those charges, the sex charges, are not on the table.
No, it's not. But that was one of the reasons why I called, because I thought my daughter was being sexually molested.
But why were you not calling her and not calling the police? And do you realize that when there's a protective order in place, you can't call, visit, or have someone else call? It's all on you.
I felt like my daughter's life was in danger, and I no longer talked to her.
So if life was in danger, you're gonna call the person who was endangering it?
No, I mean, she's so far from reality.
Okay.
And like I've been a full-time dad, so that was my thing.
But the point of the violation, we need to stick to the violations. The full-time dad understand that.
Yeah.
The sex stuff, we're not considering that.
Plead guilty.
But
Yeah.
what we're here to determine is violation of the protective order and obstruction of justice, and not what kind of dad you were or anything else.
Right.
Did you violate the order? Yes, you did, because you called 55 times.
Okay.
So we don't even need to talk about that anymore.
Yeah, I think we've covered all of the violations and gotten enough information to make a decision. Mr. Chevalier, I'm prepared to vote. Are y'all prepared to vote? My vote today is to revoke your parole based on your guilty plea of your violation of your conditions of parole. I find you guilty on were A, B, C, and 10. Mr. Tillis
I concur.
and Mr. Barra.
I concur.
So unanimously, sir, your parole has been revoked. Thank you very much, and this concludes our business at this facility.
Thank y'all. You guys. I knew that was going to happen.
Okay, good morning. The Louisiana Committee on Parole is impaneled here at headquarters in Baton Rouge. To my left is Mr. Tillis, to my right is Mr. Barra, Ms. Ledoux. Do you have any staff available in there?
I could go get the lady. She brought me in here. I could go get her, Miss T.
No, it's not necessary.
Okay.
Please state your name and your DOC number for the record.
My name is Ricky Anthony. My DOC number is 60695.
Okay. And we're at Tangipahoa Parish Jail. Do you have a paper in front of you that you signed that is a questionnaire?
This?
Yes, and you recognize your signature?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. The answers to that questionnaire indicate that you're not eligible for appointed counsel. Did you happen to hire an attorney for today?
Oh, no, ma'am. They didn't tell me nothing about, they just said I had a parole here and that's it.
That's fine. So, Mr. Anthony, you're accused of violating conditions of your parole in that you are alleged to have engaged in criminal activity because you had a warrant charging you with domestic abuse battery in July of 2025. That case was rejected in court on November 12th, 2025. How do you plead to the allegation of that?
I'm not guilty.
Now, we've all read the police report, and we understand that the victim made some statements that were inaccurate, but there was evidence of maybe an altercation of some sort. Why don't you tell me about that?
Well, me and her got in an argument and I ended up leaving. I didn't know nothing about, I came home from prison and I didn't know nothing about the girl. I just jumped in a relationship and everybody kept telling me that she's on medication, and if she don't take her medication, she don't remember what she does. And she wrote a statement and she brought it to the courthouse and gave it to them. And I didn't know she was that, like medical wise, I didn't know she was like that. But I never put my hands on her because I knew that was gonna be a violation for me because I'm already on an aggravated charge on parole already. So by me just doing that to her, I can't explain, because I mean, I know y'all gonna do what y'all gonna do, and I'm sorry for standing here in front of y'all with this charge like this, but I'm innocent. I didn't put my hands on that lady, bro. I mean, at all, ma'am and men, I did not put my hands on her.
Did y'all argue? Y'all had an argument?
We had an argument and I left. And it was really, she wanted me to leave so she could have another man over there. That's the God honest truth.
Okay, so did you have a job when you got out?
I was supposed to go to work at the Global Wildlife. My mama lives right next to the Global Wildlife. That's where I'm supposed to go to work at.
And so you've been in since July?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you pay your fees while you were out?
Well, I was in the process of Mr. Blake, my parole officer. He already knew that I was looking for a job, and I didn't get a job at that point, but I was cutting wood for an old man and I was supposed to pay, but I didn't get the pay. but I was supposed to go to work at the Global Wildlife cutting grass.
Okay. So no other violations while you were out those few months?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Well, Mr. Anthony, that's the only allegation against you, and it was dropped in court. You did have a positive drug screen after you got out.
Yes, ma'am. I was dirty. Whenever I left prison, I was dirty. I was dirty. I'm not gonna lie to you. I was dirty. When I came home from prison, I was dirty, and I got clean after that because Blake told me that he ain't gonna mess around with me.
Paroled February 7th, and you had a positive drug screen March 21st.
Hey, ma'am.
You were paroled February 7th.
Yes,
But
ma'am.
you had a positive drug screen on March 21st.
Oh, yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Long time to stay in your system. I'm just saying.
That's right. You're right. I apologize about that. You're right.
You were doing drugs. Okay. So, do my colleagues have any questions?
No, I don't have it.
Mr. Barra? Mr. Anthony, I think you probably have a little bit of substance problem. I would like to see, my vote today, just personally, is I am going to not revoke you, but I want you to go to an AA meeting at least. Have you ever had any substance abuse treatment while you were in?
No, I went to up the road. I was locked up. I went to like a substance abuse, but it was like a class for a good time. But I ain't never been to no AA meetings, but I will go. I will go. I promise you, I will go.
Okay.
What you want me to do? I just got through doing 14 years, and I don't want to do this no more. I'm almost 50 years old. I don't want to do this.
So let's do this. We're going to, I am going to recommend that you do an outpatient substance abuse evaluation and follow their recommendation, which may include go into AA/NA. I think you would do well by doing that. Also, because this is a domestic abuse battery, I would like for you to do domestic abuse battery treatment on the street.
Yes, ma'am.
That's, you have to be aware that any that will send you back quicker than anything else. Okay, Mr. Tillis, your
I
vote,
concur with Ms. Ledoux.
and Mr. Barra. Oh, and no contact with Jennifer Addison.
Yes, ma'am.
Sure.
That's what I was gonna say. So I will concur with my colleagues and with the same recommendations for the same special conditions.
Okay, let me go up those special conditions again for you.
Yes, ma'am.
You're going to be returned to supervision. However, when you get out, you're going to have a substance abuse evaluation and follow any recommendation that they give you. You also are going to have to take a domestic abuse battery class on the outside.
Yes, ma'am.
And no contact with the victim in this case.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so today on a unanimous vote, you have been returned to supervision.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. That concludes the business for today with the Louisiana Committee on Parole. It's 11:45 and we're adjourning.